It's another day out here, our coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic here in Ghana. Now, we here at Joy News have brought you comprehensive coverage. We've been to isolation centers, we've been to treatment facilities, we've spoken to people who have had the virus. We have also spoken to people who have survived the disease and are back in the society doing so well. Today we are here at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly offices. We are going to be undertaking a very important exercise in the entire coronavirus management projects. Now, we are going to be following the AMA health officials. They are going to embark on a burial service or a burial ceremony for individuals who have died of COVID-19. Now, this is one of the areas many scientists and many experts have said could be a very funny area if not properly handled. But the officials here at the AMA tell us that this is a heavily supervised project to ensure that nothing is left to chance. Come with me, let's begin this particular exploration as to how bodies from COVID-19 are disposed of. Here, there's some exercise going on right now. I would quickly want to engage the officials. They'll tell us exactly what they are doing. I see some measurements, cups, I see water. So what exactly are we witnessing here?
Okay, thank you very much. This one we are mixing for chlorine, for the one that we use for article spraying, the one that we use on the spraying on the body. And we have to measure it and do it so that we can get 0.5 concentration at the end. So we measure 500 milligrams of the chlorine, which is the bleach, and we add it to the 16 liters of water, which is the full dosage of the machine. So when we use that one, then that one will give us the 0.5 concentration that we want for the article, which is the body.
I've been joined now by Director of Public Health here at the AMA, Madam Florence Kuchi. I'm sure you all remember Madam Florence Kuchi because of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign. She's a friend to the station. She's going to just briefly tell us what we are seeing here and what today's exercise is all about. Thank you very much, Madam Kuchi.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you, Kabla.
Okay, so today, just briefly tell us what we are going to do and then what we see in the background.
Okay, thank you, Kabla. As part of the Environmental Health Officer's mandate during an outbreak of infectious disease, not only in Ghana but worldwide, the World Health Organization protocol that they have spelled, each officer from the curative to the preventive aspect has a role to play. The doctors and the nurses play the tedious role of taking care of the patients. And then the environmental health, that is the preventive officers. It is our duty, should any of the patients passes on through the disease, it is our duty to give the person a dignified burial. As part of our work, we are preparing, as you can see behind, they are mixing chlorine. That is a chemical we use during the burials. So we have it in two parts. They are mixing chlorine. We have the 0.5 that we use to disinfect the bodies before we place them inside the body bag. And then we do the disinfection right from the mortuary till the burial site. And then we have the 0.05 that we use to clean ourselves. After any contact we have, we clean ourselves. We clean ourselves 1,000 times before we finish all the burials. So it is part of trying to put in place the infection prevention controls measures that have been spelled out for us. Yeah.
It's interesting for me. I am curious to find out how all of this unfolds. But then I see, how many members of the team are you deploying for today's exercise? How many bodies are we burying, for example?
So today's exercise, we are burying 5 bodies. And then today's team, we have 11. We have 11 people that are going to do this work. So we will dispatch part of them to the cemetery and part of them to the mortuary. They will go and work, place the bodies, those that are donating body bags, let me say coffins. We put the body in the body bag before we place them inside the coffin. We don't just place the raw body in the coffin. We put them in body bags before we place them in the coffin. Then there will be somebody to escort the bodies from the first site to the cemetery for the burial team to also start doing the burial. Then they will move from the other hospital to the next hospital to go and pick the others, because the bodies are not all at one place. Yeah.
Finally, before we move on from here, we know that 48 people have died so far. And will you just briefly give us a breakdown? How many have you buried so far? How many are still outstanding, and etc.?
Yes, so Accra Metropolitan Assembly, we have registered 32 families have come to register for burial of their bereaved families. And out of the 32, as at last week, it was 27. But as we stand here today, it's 32. We buried 16 for now, and today we are burying 5.
Thank you very much, Madam Florence Kochi. So it promises to be a very revealing exercise. I am particularly curious. It's something I have not experienced before, so it's going to be new for me. But just stay with us. We'll go through all the processes right here with you. So this is the 37 Military Hospital. A short time ago, the AMA environmental workers were at the morgue to take 3 bodies. And so what is happening now is that they're going to move from here to the Ridge Hospital, where 2 more bodies will be retrieved, and then we will continue the process. Mr. Asitanga, Joseph Asitanga, is supervising this particular exercise today. We have just come from the 37 morgue. Let me just allow him to tell us exactly what went down there.
Today is another day. It's a challenge day for the country, a challenge environment for everybody. And today is a day, this is the 5th burial for COVID-19 victims. And burials are strictly supervised and monitored by the Environmental Health Department of the Metropolitan Assembly of Accra. So today we're burying 5 bodies at a go. This is a set of 3 bodies from here, 37 Military Hospital here. We're moving to the Awudome Cemetery to give them a befitting burial there. From there, we're going for another body at the Rich Hospital. That is 2 bodies there, and do the same to them.
So, Joseph Asitanga there. We are going to quickly go to the Awudome Cemetery, where the burial is going to happen proper. And then you stick with us here on Joy News. We'll bring you all the details as it unfolds. So the officials of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly Environmental Health Department are currently in a convoy with the bodies of 3 individuals who succumbed to COVID-19. And as you can see, it is we're moving at breakneck speed, because the officials who are supervising this exercise in their PPEs must be suffocating by now, because they've been in the PPE for quite some time, more than an hour. And so we are blitzing through the streets of Accra, headed for the Awudome Cemetery. You can hear from the background the sirens blaring, the hearses and the ambulances, and this is an exercise being heavily supervised by the Public Health Directorate of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. So this is the Awudome Cemetery here in Accra, where the bodies of the persons infected with COVID are going to be interred. And a short time ago, the hearses and the ambulance brought the bodies here. We met, some relatives of the individuals who had succumbed to the virus present here. They are standing, on the road shoulders, looking on as the environmental workers go ahead with the exercise to, bury the bodies of these individuals. It is a very laborious process, I have to say. And so we are going to go in there and observe for ourselves exactly how this process of burial is conducted here at the Awudome Cemetery. Come with us. Inside the Awudome Cemetery proper, the dugouts have been created. As you can see from behind me, 2 coffins which has the individuals who have succumbed to the virus. That is where they are going to be, interred. And this is, again, I have to stress, a very supervised process by environmental workers, so that they leave nothing to chance. I have seen more than 10 of them here at the moment, heavily doffed in their PPEs, with their knapsack sprayers and their chlorine, in the buckets, to ensure that this process is seamless. In a short time, the family members are going to be coming here. I have to say that they do not want to be filmed for obvious reasons, because of the issues of stigma that we've been speaking about. And so this is a very quiet process, I have to say. And as you can see in the shots right now, after they put the coffins, they are chlorinating again. Every step of the way, I have to say, that they disinfect themselves, so they leave nothing, absolutely nothing, to chance. So what you see there right now are the environmental officials removing a third coffin from the hearse to add to the two that are already here, so that burial process will be quickly conducted. Again, this is heavily supervised by environmental workers. This is certainly not an easy job, if you ask me, because if you have been in a PPE like I am before, you would appreciate that wearing this and staying in it for more than 30 minutes can be a chore. And these people have been wearing this for more than 2 hours, just ensuring that these bodies are properly disposed of. I will attempt to get a quick word from Mr. Asitanga just before they finish this particular phase of the exercise. Mr. Asitanga, yes. We see this is not an easy exercise at all.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's a challenge. And that is a call to duty by the Environmental Health Department of Accra Metro Assembly, Metro Public Health. So you can see the hectic work that we're going through here. This is not only today. We've started this from the last 7th day up to today. And we are still on it. Lot is there. We persistently carry this exercise every week, thrice every week. And today we're burying 5 at a go. We're going to bury more. Saturday we have another burial. And it's going to continue and continue. We only want to alert the public. The purpose of this is to tell the public, every family member, every Ghanaian, the COVID is there. The COVID is real. And therefore protect yourself. Observe the national protocol measures to protect yourself, protect your family, and let's protect the country image as a whole. Because if we allow and sit and say, no, the disease is not there, you don't know who is the next person, and you wouldn't like to be here. So everybody must be up to task that we protect ourselves and protect the family.
I see this is not easy. You are sweating. I am suffocating because I've not done this before. But you people do this every time. So that is, you just heard from Inspector Joseph Asitanga there. This certainly is not child's play. All the officials who are here and doing this have committed to do this for God and country. And you see them doing what they do, wearing the PPEs for these long hours, just because they have to do the job. And that is what we are seeing here, witnessing at first hand the burial process of persons who are inflicted. So there you see lay 3 caskets, 3 coffins of 3 individuals, breadwinners possibly, husbands, fathers, brothers, uncles, just lay there in those coffins, having been struck by this particular virus, which we have been speaking about for some time now. People seem to doubt the existence of this virus, giving all sorts of explanations and myths why they disbelieve that the virus is real. But you can see these are 3 people who have succumbed and are going to be buried. So that is the situation here at the Awudome Cemetery. So you can see that the coffins are being lowered into the graves. The first one has just been lowered in. They're going to lower the second also into the grave. And as you can see for yourself, this certainly is not an easy process. And these officials of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly have committed to doing this for God and country. And they've been at it for some time, as you heard Inspector Asitanga speak to us a short time ago about. So they will do that. And then do the third.
1, 2.
So it's just been lowered into the grave. The second one has been lowered into the grave. And then the third. So a team of 11 plus the Inspector Asitanga himself, 12, supervising this particular process every step of the way. And right after the coffins have been lowered into the graves, the family members, a few of them, will be allowed here to observe, of course, their last respects or pay their final respects to their relatives.
Yeah.
You were telling me about some challenge you have when you are doing this particular exercise.
Yes, the burial. The challenges we have is enormous. These bodies, they are infectious bodies, which we don't have to use the public haste in transporting the bodies to this infectious zone. We have made appeal to the state, the government, to support us with a movable and befitting double cabin pickups that we can always carry these bodies safely to the burial site. You can see that the movement through where we will bring the bodies to is a serious challenge. There is no adequate space for movement. Coming into the place is difficult. And the haste has to stop at the end of the entrance. The officers have to carry this body. Imagine how heavy it is with these 3 stumps. There's the possibility and high risk of infection to the officers. And therefore, if we have a good transport system that this body is placed in and it moves to closer to the grave space, we will have easy way of removing the body and placing it safely.
How about even some of the officials who were in the buckets? I mean, this all adds to the whole transport system.
Risk. You can see that when we were transporting the bodies from the mortuary, because of inadequate transport facility for the department to be able to adequately transport the officers safely to the burial site, you see that they were all hanged in the bucket. Very serious risk, and even poses a serious stigma to the public, because you see the traffic we were moving through, which is not allowed, that the public should see that this is the regalia. We are going with the COVID out, though it tells the public to know that the COVID is there, that we need to be safe with the officers who are responsible for the burial. We are appealing, with all apologies, we are appealing whoever is responsible to support the Metro Public Health of AMA, the Environmental Health Department, Metro Public Health Department, with a movable truck, quick equipment, double cabin pickup, very special, which we can easily transport these bodies here. We do disinfection, we do the burial, which we have no any form of equipment to transport and carry all these duties as we are here today. We have to improvise the means of bringing the bodies here. We have to improvise the means of laying the bodies to rest. We are appealing to government. We are ready. We are called to duty. We are called to carry out our mandate, but we need to be resourced.
Thank you. You heard the very passionate Inspector Setanga there. I mean, these people are giving off their all, for the good of the country, for God and country, and all they say that they need to be adequately resourced to be able to carry out this particular mandate that they have given up themselves to in help or Mother Ghana as we battle this COVID-19. So you can see some wreaths also laid there. In a short time, the family members will come, lay the wreaths on the tombs, and then pay their final respects to their departed. Hello.